this week, remember?
Yeah, well, I'm doing all right, brother. How you doing? How you feeling?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, it's a little crazy, you know. I'm not gonna lie. It was a weird weekend, that's for sure.
I'll
You know,
bet.
uh, I think my family is really taking it a lot more harder than I am, just because of the fact that they had to deal with all this stuff. My sister, especially, she's the one that had to deal with it the most because she was
Right.
with my dad pretty much since the beginning of this whole ordeal. So
Yeah, that's always hard, man.
I wonder if I'm just gonna have to set it to record because for some reason it doesn't want to.
So tell me about Virgil Hill. I didn't even have a chance to look him up.
Well, he's a legendary boxer, like from North Dakota.
Uh huh.
Like he's an Olympic gold medalist, or Olympic medalist. I don't know if he went gold, but he probably did. 5-time former world champion. So I mean, there's a lot of easy information. I mean, he'll probably go into a lot of detail himself. Uh, I also am getting a TV coming my way during this interview. So I got some people from Aaron's coming over to deliver me a TV, and everything just has to happen at the same time. So if I have to scoot for a little bit, I need you to kind of take over the interview.
Okay.
It shouldn't be too long, but it's like, they're gonna call me or whatever, let me know, what's going, and then when they get here, it should be probably roughly should be about half an hour or maybe about 11:30 my time.
Cool. What time are we supposed to do this with him?
11 o'clock. Well, here about 10 minutes.
Okay.
So, but I wanted to get, just do like a little pre thing, just to get, since it's going to be we're going to air this live. So, because I figured this would be a good way to get the crowd involved. All the people that were, sharing their thoughts and prayers and all that stuff, I appreciate that. It really means a lot. But it's just, I mean, I guess that's what you're supposed to say when somebody passes away, right? Because what else can you do?
Well, it's what that's what we're all taught to do. I understand what you're saying too, though, because I lost both my parents, and so it's just one of those things that we're all especially if you've lost your parents. I've lost mine, and I know
Yeah.
what it feels. I know what it feels like to lose them, and that's what we're all taught to do. I
Well,
understand. I've said
see,
this in the past.
this was like, for me. I mean, I lost my biological father last year,
Uh huh.
so now losing my actual father that actually raised me this year, this one hurts more
Yeah,
because
of
my
course.
biological father wasn't really much of my life at all. You know.
Well, then that makes it even that much. That makes it even that much tougher, doesn't it? Right?
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, go
You
ahead. Say
got
what you were saying.
you've had the double whammy.
Yeah, yeah, I did. But anyway, go ahead and say what you were going to say. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's just one of the things I've always said is that um, it's it's one of those things that when you lose your parents and you lose your family, somebody said this to me once: is you've never felt like such an orphan as when you lose your parents, and I accepted that sentiment for me because I was really close to my parents. In fact, they lived
Oh,
with me
sure,
when
sure, sure, sure.
they both passed. So I took care of them until their death. So I get that, man. I was really close with my mother, and so it was one of those things that when you lose your parents, man, it's not
Yeah.
easy.
Well, and the thing about it's like, even though this weekend was tough, I'm not going to lie that it wasn't. But like the fact that I kind of made peace with it here, when I saw him the last time. See, my plan was, since I'm still planning on going to Grand Forks here this afternoon for the actual show. My plan originally was I was going to go see him, you know, because we
Right.
were that he was doing all right and everything. And then all of a sudden, what's the fucked up deal about it is the fact that he decided, or somebody told him, a doctor or somebody, because he was having some kidney problems. Of course, he's always had, his kidneys have been hurting since the beginning.
Right.
But,
Right.
like, he was doing very well. Like they thought he was like doing good enough to where, he could have solid food. He could do a lot of things that he couldn't do
But
before.
he's coming back.
Started to get to normal, and then all of a sudden he said, just because he said his kidneys still kind of hurted a little bit, and I do believe it's just because of all the medication and crap that they gave him. The thing about it is, like, somebody suggested dialysis, and he didn't know really what to do, and nobody was around when he agreed to do it. He asked my sister if he should do it, and she just said, "You got to do what you feel is best for you. I can't tell you what to do, because I'm not going through what you're going through."
Right.
And
Right.
without a hesitation, he signed papers saying that he was going to go along with it, not knowing what it was or anything. And after the first round, he went to cardiac arrest a few hours later and died at 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning, right after I got done with work. My sister wanted me to come to Grand Forks.
Was his kidney function that bad that he had to go on dialysis? That doesn't even.
I don't think it was. Because he was doing fine. I think he just was suffering a little bit of pain just because of the fact that he was just hurt. Because he was, he had all these medicines and stuff. He was poked and pried, and he looked like he got beat up pretty much. All these marks on his hands. You know how you get all these marks on your hands when you get shots and all that stuff.
And I'm dealing with that right now, my friend. So it scares the shit out of me. Are you kidding me? I'm fucking dealing with the exact same thing. I'm diabetic.
So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what I fucking just went and got. I just went and got my blood taken yesterday, and it was like, Jesus fucking Christ! Can you guys not? I mean, it took them fucking 3 times to get the blood out of me, and it gets discouraging, man.
Oh yeah, and the thing about it, what I don't understand, what pisses me off about all this stuff is that they assume that he needed dialysis, but I've had they just updated the hospital, right? Where they made it to where we're at Antique Man, because he's here. He really got it upside down, dude. Antique Man, you're upside down.
He's driving sideways.
Yeah, you're upside down there, brother.
It's just getting to be a real fucking hassle being 73.
Hey, be grateful that you lived that long, man. I tell you. And I'm not just saying that just because of what's happening. I'm saying it just because.
Anyway, hello.
Yeah. hello. No, what was I going to say? They just made the hospital, like, they updated it. Grand Forks.
What's up, Eric?
And so the Altru hospital is kind of new and everything. This new one, but it's like, it doesn't matter to me if it's the old hospital or the new hospital. I had my grandmother die in that hospital. I had one of my other grandpas die in the hospital back in 2004. I had another grandpa die in 2010, and now my father. I want to find out who the hell told him to do that stuff, and beat the living shit out of that person. And also send them to jail and press charges, because I don't think it's right that they're allowed to do this to people.
I don't blame you, brother. I don't blame you.
That's what gets me mad the most. If there's anything that bothers me the most, more than just his death, the fact that this is how he died. It wasn't because of his alcoholism. It wasn't because of him chewing tobacco all these years. It wasn't because of all the stress he put on himself, over the course of time. And everything else, and all the other stuff that he was going through. This is what killed him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's funny, the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic, and I'm trying to be in good spirits. That's why I want to continue doing the show. Because I know a lot of people would just give up and just be lost for a while. Oh yeah, I'll be lost for a while, but I need this. I need to keep doing what I'm doing to keep not go insane. I need my family here, and I need my real other family. And I need all the
Right.
normalcy that I can get, and then I'll be fine.
I get
I
it.
always talk good about you guys and how much I appreciate, just the fact that you guys have stuck with me through the thick and thin, even if it's a short time or a long time or whatever, everybody's important to me, and that's going forward. That's gonna be more said now than it ever was before, just because of what I'm going through and all that. I think losing somebody really makes you appreciate the things that you still have, So.
That's right.
And I've lost more than just him. Like I was telling you before, there's been other people too. That's why it's like, what the fuck, what in the fuck, Am I getting punished for something? Am I cursed?
Oh man,
You know?
there's a
Could I just have small winter disease or something like everybody else?
it's funny, man. I completely and utterly understand that one right there. It's that when bad shit happens to you, you can't help but go, wow, what did I do to deserve this, man? What the fuck?
Yeah, that's exactly how I've been feeling, even when this stuff started, because it started with the sepsis, and then you had somebody that didn't really. I should have said no. We're not going to wrap your leg because that'll make the infection worse. I think had he not have done that, he probably would have been okay. I think he would have been okay. I really, really believe so.
And they wrapped his leg, you said?
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it later on. Our guest has arrived.
Cool. All right. Bro. I'm with you.
Hey, what's going on, Virgil? How you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you?
Good. I have a couple of members of my crew with me that wanted to participate as well, so hopefully that's okay with you.
Sure.
Because I got a TV that's coming here from Aaron's here about a half an hour. So if it comes while the interview is going on, they're going to help keep the interview going for me, so I can get that accomplished while they're talking to you. So as long as you don't,
I have my teammate with me, my wife.
Yeah.
That's the right teammate to have with you, brother.
Absolutely.
I know that feeling.
Good morning.
How you doing there?
Hello there.
Good to finally meet you, because I remember talking to you on the phone when you guys were talking about that Golden Glove thing that you were doing here last week.
Yeah, we just finished that yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So it was a long event. Okay.
Oh yeah, 4 days.
Holy crap. Were you just like a judge or something, or moderating it, or just watching?
Yeah, I'm a judge and a referee.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to mess with you if you were, my referee and everything. Holy
No. I just referee the little ones.
Oh. Because I'm gonna show you what I made as a promotional poster, and don't get offended at all by it. I thought it was kind of funny because I'm using AI a lot now when I do promotional things or whatever. So I kind of just had an idea and I was gonna run with it. So I'm gonna take you guys off screen real quick and I'll show you.
Let's see. Old head.
Well, I don't know. AI just went with it. I put your
Yeah,
name in
AI
it.
is not good at that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, did you probably hair most of your career? Did you? I mean, you were never, or did you go bald at one time?
No, there was one time that it was really short.
Okay.
When I fought, oh god, I can't remember.
I had to get your age right because they put you at they made you younger than you were. I want to make sure if I was going to do a tail of the tape, I wanted the correct way. I was trying to go for an old school HBO boxing vibe.
Okay.
Well, anyway, we are so honored to have you on here, Virgil. Man, I tell you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
I don't know if you realize how big of a deal you are when it comes to especially around this area here. I'm from northern Minnesota, but I'm really close to Grand Forks and everything. And people talk about you a lot. Because you've accomplished in your career. And we're honored to have you on Renegade Radio. This is definitely a big interview.
Minnesota was a big part of my my career. I qualified for the Golden Gloves, and that's what got me into the Olympics. It was through Minneapolis.
Okay.
Our regional
You're this, what was it, like a big event or whatever, like whoever
It was
won was
regionals,
okay.
regional tournament. If you won the regionals, you went on to the nationals.
Right.
Yeah, and then at the president of the Golden Gloves was from Minneapolis, and I forget his name.
John Brown.
Huh?
John Brown.
So you were about 20?
No, it wasn't John Brown.
Virgil, you were about 20 when that? Or
No,
a
no,
little
no. I was 18.
18, okay.
Yeah.
And what part of North Dakota are you from? I'm from Fargo, but I'm living in Texas now.
Oh, you're like me.
Yeah.
I'm from Grand Forks, but I live in California.
And
A
you know,
little bit warmer.
it's
Yeah.
32, it's 32 here today, and everybody's complaining about it, but
Oh,
Yeah,
just
it
tell
was-
them to watch the news and look at Chicago.
yeah, right.
What part of
No,
California do you live in, Virgil?
Southern California, Santa Clarita.
Ah,
Yeah. So
so I'm trying to. I've looked about your beginnings. Why don't you tell us how did you get started in boxing? I mean, because I'd like to know. There's not a lot about your beginnings and your history. What got you into this?
well, we lived on a farm, and I saw some Golden Glove boxing on TV. And I asked my dad if we ever moved to the city, and the city was Grand Forks. Could I box? He said, yeah. And I was 8 years old and actually moved to Grand Forks. And he came home from work and said, do you still want to box? And I said, yes. Took me down to the local gym. Bang, zoom.
The
Wow.
rest is history.
Yeah. Now, I didn't just box, but I played, like all, upper Midwest kids, November, you play football, or when school starts, you play football. Then winter comes, I wrestled, and
Wow.
then spring comes, you run track, and summer comes, you play baseball.
Nice.
Yeah.
So tell us about the successful journey then. So if you did all those sports, at what point did you realize that, okay, I'm not going to wrestle, I'm not going to play football, I'm going to devote myself to boxing? When did that happen for you?
My senior year of football, when I actually, said, I'm 165 pounds running back. They're 400-pound linemen. I don't think I have it wasn't like I was blazingly fast either. I was like an average 4'9", 4'8", 40 guy. So it wasn't, but it was good enough for where I grew up, where I lived and stuff like that.
So then had you been successful then as a boxer up until then? I mean, did you win the Golden Gloves? Did you
Did he disappear?
Professional
Oh, there you go.
So
There you go. You're back. You were having some connection issues or something,
we
right?
lost you there for a second, my friend?
it's my wife's new phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
No, iPhone.
Oh, of course.
But
Yeah, blame
I
the
didn't
iPhone.
really, it wasn't until I moved to Williston, North Dakota. Their boxing team there, their club and stuff, they had a little more money and stuff, and they were able to give us more exposure, to bigger fights and stuff like that. So when I went to the Nationals, when I was 18, I was prepared.
Okay.
So I ended up getting runner-up in the ABF back, and then that's what it was called. And then I got on the Olympic boxing team, and the guy that beat me was a guy named Michael Grogan, and he was an older guy, so he didn't want to fight the fights. So I fought just about every country there that we fought in 1 year. So I was fight ready when it came to the Olympic trials and stuff like that. But I still went through the Golden Gloves.
Sure. Cool.
Yeah.
So what was your primary weight class then? Did you fight in?
165 middleweight.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so, did you? What was your first? What was the tournament that got you to the Olympics? What was the first big honor or the big fight you would say for you that you remember that really sort of set you apart and you said, okay, I'm going all the way with this?
Well, I mean, coming from where I was from and stuff, I didn't really have, nobody ever went that far. So there was no, there
Nobody
was
stopped
no,
you.
yeah, there was no prepper, like I just kind of, went, figured it out as I went
Sure.
because there was nobody to ask,
Right.
So a lot of it, I didn't even know that the natural transition from amateur boxing was to turn, after the Olympics was to turn pro. Somebody had to tell me that.
Wow.
Nobody did it. We're all country boys, except for Minneapolis.
Right.
You going out there bucking hay bales and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you're used to in the country, your life. Uh, I want to introduce you to my panel since we haven't had a chance to do that yet because I have a bigger panel. If we would have did this for the normal show that we do Monday nights or like we'll do tonight, I have two of my panel or crew members with me. One is his name is Antique Man. He's from Texas or from Fargo originally, but lives in Texas. And the other is Max Payne, and Max Payne is also a former athlete. Max, why don't you tell Mr. Hill a little bit about yourself?
So I was an amateur wrestler put myself through college on an amateur wrestling scholarship. And then, of course, since I was that 400-pound guy that you were facing on the other side, I didn't play football, I wrestled. So I went on and became a professional wrestler. So I was a professional wrestler for about 12 years. So I did that, as well. So, when you brought up the wrestling thing, that doesn't seem illogical. How did you do as a wrestler?
I'll be right back.
I was a better wrestler than I was a boxer.
So you just decided, so what made you decide boxing instead of wrestling?
Well, high school. When you get to 12th grade, then you go to university.
Right.
That's a whole other thing.
So you didn't want to go to the university?
I did, but at that point I had to choose.
Right.
And I went further in boxing, winning the nationals, and then I got on the Olympic team, and so I got to go to Russia and Cuba and all those places.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So it was the traveling that. So once you won like the national. So tell us about your journey to getting to the Olympics.
The political part or the physical part?
Whatever part you want to tell us, my friend. Whatever I'd love to hear them both. So you go ahead with whatever is the part that's going to make you the happiest.
Well, I mean, it all made me happy. I mean, the natural transition to you gotta strive to be the best. You want to be the best. You want to be the best at what you're doing, and so that's always been my goal, and it's the way that we grow up. I mean, we're used to from where where we live. You got to shovel snow even right now. Lord,
Yeah, it's like 2 degrees right now in northern Minnesota.
Jesus, yeah, but just getting up and going outside is a process
That's right.
that everybody else does not have,
Right.
and and you learn that. It was before you had snow machines and stuff like that. You had to go out and shovel the driveway and the sidewalk and stuff. It was a whole it's a whole process of things during the winter. Just changing of clothes.
Oh,
Yeah, they
yeah.
don't sell
You
snow
know,
shovels in Santa Clarita.
well, if they do, it's for something else.
Yeah, fair enough.
Leaves.
Yeah, but I don't know. I tried. It just always being there and not winning it. You know what I mean? Like I would make it to the quarterfinals, or you know, and then losing, and then having to sit and watch everybody else fight. That's a torture.
Yeah.
It was for me
Yeah.
to
It is.
Especially
watch
when you're,
everybody.
especially when you're hungry, hungry for it. You really want, your goal is you want to beat everybody.
Right. Well, of course, yeah. But I didn't know what the next process to that was, in winning it. And then they were able to. I was able to go to the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. Not that really nice training center that they have now, with swimming pools and all this and that. It was a whole different.
Different
It was a
world.
whole different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was probably like I don't know, Max, when you were in WCW, did you do the power plant at all? Was it kind of similar to that? Remember the
Yeah.
power plant that they had? for
Yeah.
WCW?
That was the. You're talking about the top of the line version of the.
Yeah. Well, that it's top of the line now, but it wasn't. It might have been top of the line back then, but I didn't know.
Yeah, but there's something about going to those. You look back at those, like when I broke in the wrestling business, the Olympic Auditorium was still open in downtown LA, and they were still having boxing matches or they were still having boxing events and wrestling matches at the Olympic Auditorium. Well, now it's long gone, but there's something, that's that kind of nostalgia that, when you're somebody like yourself, that you look back on that with a certain sense of pride because you came up the hard way. You did it. It wasn't easy. There
Yeah.
wasn't, and not that boxing's ever easy, but you didn't have that spectacular training center in Colorado. You had the Blood and Guts Training Center that it sounds like is what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, yes, exactly. You didn't have that expensive training center anywhere. We
Right.
had we had a heavy bag and a ring that was wall to wall.
Right.
If you got too close to the ropes and you got punched, your head hit the wall.
No, and those were days that then it wasn't all of what made you and what made you successful, is, I mean, that's one thing about the movie Rocky. I think that we all loved it, is that it was his devotion to doing no matter what it took to be the best in his sport. So who was the first trainer that you felt like you really connected with, that helped you drive your career forward in a way that you felt like was best for you?
Well, quite honestly, the trainers that I had, Henry Jutman, he was only like 5 years older than me at the time, and this is later. And I learned the basic fundamentals. I didn't there was nobody to teach me, slick stuff and stuff like that. That's all I had was the basic fundamentals.
Right.
Jab, right hand, and left hook. Back in my day, nobody threw right hooks and stuff like that. Yeah, so we didn't, I mean, it was just basic fundamentals. That's what I try to teach my kids now.
Sure.
if they'd stay off the internet.
That's the hard
Oh,
part, right?
oh,
Keeping them
God.
off
I
of
understand you
social
have a
media.
daughter in bobsledding Olympics.
Huh?
Your daughter, you have a daughter in bobsledding.
Yeah. When I was talking about that, I meant my fighters, not my kid.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah, I had my daughter made the Olympics for bobsledding. She got
Yeah.
5th.
That's great.
Nice.
Yeah. And we got a chance to go to Italy, the whole family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Sweet.
so that recently
Yeah.
just happened. Like that happened this year.
Yeah, this
Oh wow. Okay.
Just
about
a couple
a
weeks
month ago,
Yeah.
February.
Oh no. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just saying about what your daughter being in the Olympics. Not the. I
Yeah.
knew about the Olympics happening, but
Yeah.
we're all
Yeah.
about. We're all about
Let me
the-
tell you, they were not prepared. We had to walk up a mountain, and I had all my grandbabies.
Oh boy.
There was no ropes and all that. You walked up. It took an hour and a half just to get up. Or no, it was a
Okay.
mile and a half. Excuse me. It was a
Okay.
mile and a half. It felt like an hour and a half.
That's crazy.
It would
because
take
you-
me an hour and a half to hike a mile and a half.
Oh
I'll tell
my
you
God!
that right now.
Look, I loved it, and I'm glad that I was there and stuff like that. I would have saw more on TV. All I got to do was see her helmet zip by, and that was it.
yeah.
It's so
That's what I
true.
mean, though. It's like-
About that.
Because I was watching the Olympics too, and I was very impressed by not just with the hockey stuff, but like every person that was doing stuff over there, and like the ski jumps and everything, and then the where you have to hit the poles and everything, and seeing some people
Oh.
not achieve that and they get eliminated, and oh man, I
Oh,
tell
God.
you,
Yeah, that great stuff. If I got a chance to see it, it would have been
Oh, yeah.
nice to see that in person.
Oh sure,
But I was busy walking up a hill.
well, because your name you are on the hill, so you are Virgil.
Yeah.
So you have to do
Well,
that.
let me rephrase that. Mountain.
Mountain.
Yeah.
Not Virgil Mountain is Virgil Hill.
Did you get to
Yeah.
see any other events, Virgil?
No. That was an all-day affair. You couldn't drive in. You had to take buses and all kinds of crazy. They weren't prepared.
So it's just like what you saw on TV, kind of, but where there are different sections of the country or of the area, basically. Every event has a different part or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all you
But
saw
my-
was her helmet flash by about.
Yeah. That was flat that and carrying babies up hills.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
What
fun.
was worse? What was worse, going up the hill or down the hill? Or did you have somebody else going down the hill?
Yeah. You already know. Down the hill.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Have you got good knees?
Wonderful experience. She for 2 years she's been in the bobsled straight, and she really worked hard and did some really impressive things, and she's gonna stay in it. She wants to medal. That's her big thing.
Okay.
And yeah,
When it
What
comes
is
to
she
the
on a
whole,
4-man team or a 2-man team or what she do?
she's on the
Yeah.
two bob.
Two bob. Nice.
when it comes to the get invited to be a part of the Olympics, like when you have a family member, do they like invite you to be a part of it, or do you have to
No.
pay your own way and everything? I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah.
you have to pay your own way. Okay.
No.
I wasn't sure because even like for the hockey teams and stuff, it seems like there's a lot of people there and all that. So it's just like I didn't know if they all got invited or if they had to pay their own way or I don't know.
I don't know about maybe for them they do, but not yeah.
Okay, but you had to pay anyway. So
Well,
Yes.
yes, we had to pay, and then we had to pay.
well, hey, but it was worth it for the experience. I mean,
It was.
But okay, then for you then when you were in the Olympics yourself, that was different. Then I suppose that was like you made it to the Olympics, so you may have gotten invited where you didn't have to pay to get in, or did you still have to pay to be a part of it? Back when you were
No, not as an athlete. I didn't. Of
Okay.
course. Yeah. I mean, boxing just comes down to you win, you move forward. You lose, you're out.
okay.
Period. And yeah, so I ended up fighting Michael Nunn for my entry. to the Olympics.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I'm
Yeah.
And you
back
won
there.
a, won
Only
a
interview
silver
one.
medal in the Olympics.
I did. I was mad. I thought I got a little cheated there, but you know, sometimes you got to fight harder than you think that you fought, and at that time, the market was just full of. We had 9 gold medals, one silver, one bronze, and then one of the kids didn't medal, Robert Shannon.
And that's
So,
the '84 Olympics in L.A., right?
L.A. Yep.
So you you had the nickname Quicksilver.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get that?
My dad. I was trying to figure out a name, you know, when I turned pro, and then I thought, well, you know, Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm gonna call myself Sugar Hill. So my first fight, then they announced me go in the red corner, Virgil Sugar Hill. Did not sound right on the sugar part.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was not right. My dad said, you got to change that. How about Quicksilver Hill? You got quick hands, you got a silver medal, Quicksilver.
Ah,
Yeah.
nice.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Sugar Hill, I don't think would have, you know, I'd be doing a lot more fighting than in the ring.
Well, you would have
On the
you would have been
outside.
able to be a
Pink boxers.
you would have been able to be a
Pink
spokesperson.
boxers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Hey.
probably would end up being a spokesperson for Crystal Sugar then if that was a
Well, it could have been a good thing then.
can imagine that, you know.
Yeah.
In boxing, I beat people, you know, to win, but here we have beats here at the Crystal Sugar and everything, you know.
Yeah. That's right. Every year.
Yeah, we keep beating, just like I do in the ring, you know. Trying to do your promo for you. That's all. Anyway.
So you had a pretty powerful beginning career. Just reading some of your stats, you had 18 straight fights before you turned pro. Is that right? And then you fought a guy from Trinidad. Is that right?
Is that Wikipedia?
Tell us.
I had 300 amateur fights. Unbelievably, you know, coming out of North Dakota, I had 300 amateur fights.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, the way it listed is it says after 18 straight wins, then did they give you the opportunity to be a part of the WBA, or how did that happen for you?
Yeah, they didn't give anything.
No,
yeah.
For my language, you were
No. I'm just being funny. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
18 fights before you fought.
I had 18 fights before I fought for the world title. It was my 19th pro fight when I fought, and then I fought Tommy Hearns and lost it my 30th, I believe, something like that. I don't know. I can't remember
Well,
that. But
that's still a record to be proud of. Remember, regardless. I mean, think about everything that you accomplished in your life, and I'm sure you think about it all the time. But it's like, that's legendary status. I mean, you're already in some Hall of Fames and stuff, and people, like I said, you know, when I told people that I was going to be doing this interview with you, first of all, they didn't believe it at first because, yeah, right, Virgil Hill's going to come on your show. Yeah, who are you?
No.
You know, I mean, when they say that to me, but it's like, no, he's literally coming on the show, and you know, it's kind of a big deal, you know, because he's
anybody from the Midwest that calls me or whatever, I make it a point to.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Because my friend John Roberts, he said he knew you too. He did like one of your, he was your ring announcer, I believe, for one of your fights locally a while back ago. So because I asked him, I said, do you remember Virgil Hill? Because he was the one that brought you up in conversation, you know, last week when we were during the actual show. And I thought, well, I want to see, because this is they're celebrating 6 years of Grand Forks Best Source as of this week. It was 6 years ago during the pandemic, when the pandemic started, before everybody knew that there was a pandemic. That's when they started their video podcast company, and they're located in the Grand Cities Mall on South Washington, where Kmart used to be.
Huh.
So I don't know the last time you've been to Grand Forks, but it's not the Columbia Mall; it's the other mall.
No.
Because the Columbia Mall has kind of
Luckily-
been bye,
Yeah.
There's nothing there anymore.
Yeah. Luckily, we had two malls.
Yeah, well, I mean, what,
Two
in your
malls,
career,
two stores, two gas stations.
yeah. Well, in your career, when you did make it big, I mean, how often did you make appearances in Grand Forks and stuff like autograph
my-
signings or whatever?
I had family. I have family in North Dakota. You know,
Yeah.
my brothers and some couple of my sisters and stuff like that. So yeah, but you know, I got a family. They got a family. Some live in Missouri. Some live in North Dakota. I live in California. You know,
Yeah,
Sure.
sure.
Sure. Yeah. And big
everybody's
difference,
busy with life.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So
So
I got
now-
a question.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Max. Go ahead.
I got a question for you. So, in 1985, I believe I just graduated from college and had moved to LA to seek fame and fortune myself. And I worked in television and film. I'd worked as in a professional in a television station. So one of my first jobs in LA was working running cameras and handheld cameras and stuff like that. And I was also a security guard. And so I was lucky enough to have this great opportunity one day. It's a day that changed my life. There was a boxing match on Sunset Boulevard, Tate, Tillman, and Gonzalez. And it was Tate's coming out party. It was his
Frank
first fight as a professional.
Frank Tate.
So I was reading that you fought Tate in a grudge match sometime in your life. You want to tell us about that?
What? No grudge. He was below me. He was the 156 pounder. So as an Olympian and stuff like that, and then he won a world title. I think he won like 2 world titles or something like that. And then he moves up to my weight class.
92.
Mistake.
92. Yeah, and I kicked his ass because I didn't like him. We fought back to back twice. How do you fight for the world title and then fight for the world title again back to back?
Yeah,
So he had politics. So I couldn't stand him. I didn't like him when we were amateurs and stuff because he was a weight below me. So
Right.
we had a sparring match, and I was in there moving around, and he just took it to me. He was from Kronk, Michigan, fighter, Kronk boxing, with Emmanuel Stewart and stuff. So he took it to me, and I never forgot that.
So you were waiting for. So it was a revenge match, not a grudge match.
Oh yeah. Grudge match, revenge, however you want to dress it up. Yeah. I don't like him, and I still don't like him to this day. When we meet stuff, I'm like, yeah, hey Frank, yeah. Just remember, I beat you up twice. So
Good for you, man.
and I'm generally not that type of guy. I'm a quiet guy. I don't.
That says a lot about him, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I
Well,
can tell you're not
he
that
come
kind
from
of guy.
Kronk boxing with Tommy Hearns and all those guys, and so he probably had it a little better than I did and stuff like that. And we were sparring, so he took it to me, and I never forgot it. So I was fired up both times. I kind of fought out of the style that I generally fight, and took it to him. Yeah. So, but he almost knocked me out in like the 11th round. He threw an uppercut that I didn't see.
Ooh.
And all I remember is waking up on the way, almost on the way down, and I popped back up. And he had hit me in the jaw and slammed my mouth together, and I busted all these teeth back here.
Oh no!
So I had to go one more round and stuff. I was so mad. Oh,
I'll bet.
yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah. So every time I see him when we go to some of these functions and stuff like that, I just look at him. He never says a word to me. I just look at him. Hi, Frank. How you doing? You good? All right.
Hi.
How's the kisses there?
You want a hug? You don't want a hug? Okay. All right. Still feeling it.
Still feeling it.
Yeah, I knew I had to ask about. I knew I had to ask about
Yeah.
Tate. I knew that was a sore subject with you, man.
Yeah, I have him and I, ever since that one time. I was like, is it, yeah. But we're both Olympians, so there's nothing to prove other than you got to do what you do and I got to do what I do.
Right, right.
But he wanted, I guess, to make a different type of statement, and he did.
Without
And so-
being just and I'm not asking about details here at all. When I ask this, did you make a good living being a boxer enough to carry you through for your life? Did it?
Well,
Did it,
I mean, again, so after high school and stuff, I didn't go to college and stuff like that. My college was USA Boxing,
right.
and so you need someone to teach you how to manage money and stuff like that. No, I don't live a lavish life. I have a boxing gym. I'm getting ready to open up another gym up in Florida and stuff like that. So, and my wife is a track and field coach and also a boxing promoter. So we still promote shows and stuff. So I made a really good living in boxing. Some of the stuff I didn't invest, because when you're 18, 19 years old and you're making, now we don't make the kind of money that they're making now.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in my whole career, I probably made, a few $1,000,000, probably more than a few $1,000,000 and stuff. But yeah, but never any really, really big. Like they're making $30 million and stuff like that. Where I made $1.5 million with Tommy Hearns, and but everybody thinks, well, $1.5 million. Oh, you gotta be living good. I go, 40% of that, poof,
Yeah.
I was just gonna
government
say,
takes.
yeah, you had to pay a huge percentage of that out immediately, didn't you?
Well, you have 33 1/3% management. You got 10% trainer. You got 5% over here. So if you get back 40% of your money, do the numbers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Then you're in
Yeah.
the upper tax. Then you're in a nice upper tax bracket where no one teaches you how to, what to do with your money and stuff like that, and you just straight pay 40% off the top of that.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, then you got to add taxes to that.
Yeah, there you go.
So
But
so here's my question then.
yes,
That just leads to my next question. So it sounds to me like though you made enough money that you were fortunate enough that you could stay in the boxing business, teaching and doing what you're doing now,
yes,
without having to go back out into the real world, so to
right,
speak, and
yeah.
earn, work at a car wash or whatever. God forbid.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, if you want a car wash, you still have to work it.
No. That's of course.
I'm just playing with you.
No, I know you are, man. That's all. I just am happy to see that the boxing business that you were, one of the few that was smart enough, and probably your better half helped you through those times to manage your money, so that you made sure that you got something to keep you afloat the rest of your life.
Well, managing money was not my thing, and my wife, I remember her saying, she goes, "You just take 10%," because Denise and I met in the Olympics.
Wow! So you guys have
wow.
been together.
Yeah, so she was a sprinter and stuff like that. We met in the cafeteria. She was hitting on me. She was. I was a shy North Dakota kid,
I have a feeling she might have a bit of a different story.
Oh yeah, but it's not true. It's not true.
Now you're eating a banana and she wanted part of that, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
Something like that,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's just-
You better leave that alone.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Some things best left unsaid. Yes.
yeah.
I give you a small taste of what we were like on the actual Renegade radio program. We kind of go adulty a little bit sometimes. But, that's just because we are adults and everything. I'm the
Yeah,
youngest of
yeah.
everybody. Anyway, when it comes to just, I suppose you do a lot of like talks and stuff and speeches and stuff around like when people like at schools and stuff and whatever. And,
I've
go
done
around,
that. Yeah. When people ask and stuff, I'm not. I'm going. Hey, my name is Virgil Hill, and I went to the Olympics and I've won 5 world titles, and I'm a Hall of Famer, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I'm better than you, and you know it. That's right.
Oh gosh, I run every day and I work out every day and stuff like that. And if you want to get a little bit, you can get some.
That's right. That's right.
I'm not. I'm not that guy. I'm from the Upper Midwest area, and generally most of us are humble and stuff. And if you don't pick up the conversation or start the conversation, then that conversation doesn't happen. When I winning the medals, winning the world titles and stuff is what you're supposed to do. So my dad went to work every day. Nobody patted him on the back. Stuff. He went to work every day. Moonlight jobs and stuff like that. And nobody patted him on the back. Go, hey, good job picking up that extra this and that and stuff. So, you know, um, so it's what you're supposed to do. If you're gonna box, you want to be a world champion. You become a world champion, you want to become that the upper level and stuff. And so you're always striving to get to that. And I don't think that I've done anything more or less than anybody else with the same opportunity and abilities and stuff that I had. And if someone, it's like my wife said, if someone asks me to do something, I'll do it, long as it's not,
Yeah.
Well,
harmful.
it seems like you've had a pretty good life because we don't hear anything negative about you on TMZ, like everybody else. So if you do have a drinking problem or anything like that, we know about it.
North Dakota, everybody has a drinking problem. When you start drinking beer at 13, you just could do things.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't have a drinking. I
Yeah.
don't have a drinking problem because I'm allergic to alcohol. Every time I drink, I break out in handcuffs, so I get away from
Yeah. That's German and Norwegian area.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you drinking snobs.
But what I'm saying though is just the fact that nobody's we haven't heard any negative reports. And if we have, I don't remember of it.
Yeah. Well, believe me, I've had moments and stuff, but luckily, you're able. Self-pity is not good.
Yeah, you've got something that helps you mediate that. Standing just off camera.
Yeah. No. Are you having another one? Oh my God. Nobody wants to hear that.
See, I knew that, man. Hey, let me ask you a question. So somewhere in that mind of yours, you got a famous favorite fight that you look back at and you go, Oh yeah, that's the one. When I got out of the ring, I went, yeah, I'm there. What fight did that for you, Virgil?
I um
There isn't one.
all the fights that I lost.
Oh
You
goodness.
know, you know, Tommy Hearns, Roy, a couple other guys and stuff like that.
They're the ones that hurt the most.
Well, I mean, there are other guys that have punched me harder in the gym sparring. Sparring is brutal. I mean, it is preparation for a world title is you don't get injured in the fight, you get injured in the training
I believe that.
because you got five different guys that you're sparring that are top level guys.
Right.
And so I never got hurt, in the boxing ring. It was more outside the ring. And then fighting hurt. That's what the stuff that people don't know. But as far as I don't there's not they're all of them when you fight for a world title are at a high level. So it's hard for me to distinguish, one from the other just because it's the same type of feeling.
I get that.
The intensity,
Yeah.
that I don't have that particular one. Now there are guys that have bigger names, that make the event a bigger event. Tommy Hearns, Roy Jones Jr., Henry Mask, those guys. We got 80 million people watching and stuff, or
Right.
stuff like that. But as far as the mental aspect of it, same for me.
Nice.
Preparation and stuff, drive, all that, relatively.
So what do you want? Like, what's like your goal when you get done with all this, and you decide that you're finally going to retire and everything, if you do or whatever. Some people don't, but if you do, if you decide that this is all life has offered me, and I'm happy with everything. What's your ultimate goal that you want people to know about you, like the legacy of Virgil Hill?
I want kids to know that if you believe, you can achieve. You got to believe in yourself first. If you can believe it and you can put the work in, you can achieve it. You can get it done. I'm
Nice.
proof of that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we
Yeah.
appreciate your time, brother. I mean, really, this has been an honor to have you on, and just to know that you're one of us. I mean, really, I learned more about you than I knew before. And I'm just so happy
Well,
to.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a upper Midwest boy, so that's what we do. You
Thank
got to keep bringing them up.
So, you got any advice for our Renegade Radio viewers at all? To keep them watching our content at all?
Right? Um, yeah. Keep believing. You know, keep watching. Keep moving forward.
Absolutely. All right,
Yeah.
man. Well,
Very
we're not
nice.
gonna see how many more
Thank
your
you
time.
guys so much. This has probably
Oh,
been
I
one of the best interviews I've ever had.
Thanks for
Virgil,
being
you
Well,
were
on.
awesome,
we try
man.
to make it we try to make it as comfortable as we can because we're not the big wigs. We're not the people we have to have a commercial every 5 minutes or whatever and all that
You
stuff.
guys are big wigs. They just don't know it yet.
You're the
Right.
you're the
That's
man,
right.
brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
kindness and your lovely
Yeah.
wife, man. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks to
You
your
guys,
wife.
you guys were amazing, and I really
Thank you.
All right. Well, we
Hopefully
appreciate it.
someday I get to meet you guys in person.
that would
Oh
be
yeah.
great.
Well,
If
you
I
let
ever
us know
see
when
you
you're
out there,
here.
I will come and look you up and say, hey, remember me? I gave you a bunch of shit on an interview.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that voice. Bobby
Well,
Mikey.
if you want to watch his matches, you can go on YouTube, and he's a former WCW wrestler, Max Payne. So
I'm gonna look.
So
I'm already. As soon as I get off the phone, ping.
all right, all right, brother. We appreciate you, and thanks.
All right. God bless.
Nice talking to you.
All right.
All right.
Goodbye,
Bye
everybody.
bye.
When it comes to podcasts and social media, stick with the best. Grand Forks' best source. Keep up to date with local happenings and news, interviews with city leaders, athletes, nonprofits, and of course, lots of feel-good stories. You know, Grand Forks' best source is a great way to advertise your business or events with the most economical ad packages available. And contact us to find out how you can have your own podcast with the best studio in the area. Check out Grand Forks' best source on your favorite social media app. Grand Forks' best source, the Forks' best local podcast. Call 701-213-0863 or online at gfbestsource.com. We love the Forks. Grand Forks' best source, giving the Forks their identity again.